Welcome back to another sketchbook video. This one was a bit of a crapshoot really to get done this entire video. I had done one super early on where I would have had plenty of time, and in fact would have had it done so early. But as things go, it didn't. It was terrible, and in fact kind of like punched me right in the confidence, and I really didn't want to post that one. It actually made me very anxious whenever I thought about filming, which is fine. I'm sure I was already just bothered about something else. So, yeah, it didn't really work out for me this week. I really tried, and there was just a lot going on. I had a lot of random work and a lot of random stuff that I had to do. And it didn't work out. It really didn't. It was really frustrating, and by the end, I was pretty much like, it doesn't matter if it goes up a little late. There's nothing you can do about it now. And I thought I would kind of have some time yesterday. Yeah, no. I ended up having to go do some stuff for our business, which bled into some more stuff for a different job. And yeah, by the time I got back, it was way too late and I couldn't do anything. So I had to give up and just make peace with the fact that this video was just gonna be, it was gonna be a little late. Same day, but it was gonna be late. So yeah, no amount of planning or anything was going to change that. So I decided that instead of doing one page where I did some inking, I would do what I had been doing lately, which is because I like this paper so much with these Kohl Erase pencils and my mechanical colored Eno pencils. I figured, why don't I just do a whole spread and I'll draw this character of mine. This story is getting pretty far along, and I think last year I wrote on it a lot, and then the beginning of this year I was also writing on it quite a bit. Every single time I was getting up to pace, I was writing on it. So, yep, decided to draw him because I've been thinking about it a lot, and also drawing him on my loose papers. And I don't think I have erased so much in so long. And whenever I finished filming, I had this weird thought, like, alright, now I can just film something for fun. And I realized that that had been kind of the idea that I had gone in with, was that I was doing this, like, high-pressure thing. And if I had realized that to begin with, I probably would have just, like, you know, stepped back for a little bit, taken a breather, calmed down, and come back to it, and it would have been fine. As it is, maybe they're not the best drawings, but because they're of a character of mine, and maybe not even entirely on model, especially for the one on the right, because I tweak it so much. Specifically the face, and then on this one, that other arm just ends up, gosh, it was insane. But, yeah, because it is my character, I still feel okay about the pages. So, I'm glad that I drew him anyway. And even if it's not a total winner, I hope you can enjoy it anyways, because, yeah. I did draw. I did make a video. Yeah, I ended up going to a farmer's market. We try to go occasionally. Where we live, it's very small. I mean, I'm talking, I think we're the fourth tent. And there's, that's it. That's all that's there of people selling at this little farmer's market. And it's every single Saturday. So, whenever the time starts, I'm pretty much, trying to stay geared up to go. But I am not a very social person, and being around people makes me very stressed and very tired. Well, usually at this market, it's super windy. It's a bit out of town. So I end up spending most of the time, my mom, my sister, and I all end up spending most of the time using every arm and leg that we can spare to hold everything on the tables. So thankfully it was not crazy windy. We did have a couple gusts, and my sister had bought these like really cool stands and stuff. So all of that to say, I check out our really cool chapstick holder things. Finally using the shells. Those have been printed forever, we just haven't transferred them. But anyway, all of that to say that I could actually draw at the market this time, and I ended up filling 2 pages. I was kind of noodling. Probably in the time that it took me to mess around with them, I could have done a couple more pages. But some people were kind of coming in and talking around me and stuff, and I couldn't do it. Oh, this is my new bag. This bag rules. I had to get something more organized because I was really hurting my fingers trying to find things in the other one, and I couldn't find them, and I kept losing things in it and not knowing where it was, and having to dump the whole thing out. So, yep, I pretty much got that bag specifically for that, and it's actually beyond my expectations. It's functioning really well. I've taken it a few places. We went to a friend's house and ended up, taking that along so I could test it out. I probably drew a little bit more than I should have, and yeah, but I really enjoyed that bag. It's really, really good. 2 of those little sections that you saw me going through that I have stuff in, you can actually take them out if you need to put bigger stuff in the bottom. And I usually fit my whole sketchbook in there, my highlighters, like a bunch of my pencils and everything. So it's really, really nice. I have a couple of my gray markers in there just because I thought, hey, whenever I'm doing Inktober, this might, help me organize things and make it easier for me to take it along, because we almost always end up going somewhere for even a couple days in October, no matter what, so I figured that would make my life a little bit easier. Here we are, moving on to the second page. I feel like my base sketch wasn't bad, and even one of the faces that I ended up erasing wasn't bad. There was even a hand I drew on the other one that wasn't that bad when I watched it back. In the moment, I'm like, this is awful, this looks like a foot hand, it's like, even that one is not very good. It's just not. But the ones before it were not as bad as I felt like they were in the moment. So, yeah, that was insane. Trying to go back and do this. By the way, I'm just having some allergies, so hang in there with me. But, yeah. I had been drawing this thing on my iPad. I haven't shown it anywhere, but I was drawing this guy, kind of, I don't know, he's holding his arms like he's shocked, he's surprised, and then there's this jester kind of creature behind him, pulling something from his chest, and that pose has been kind of on my mind lately. It's not like super great or whatever, but it's just been on my mind since I drew it. So I drew something slightly similar right here. You can kind of see that I'm getting a little bit more warmed up in drawing as the year goes on, just in time to get back to work and lose it all again. But you can tell because I'm getting back into the proportions that I preferred for drawing my necromancer character. And yeah, those are like shapes that I default to when I'm drawing quickly without a lot of thought, and I do prefer them most of the time. I think that there's other styles that I draw in that they don't work in, and I don't mind that. I can bounce back and forth. But yeah, drawing a lot of my own characters from stories and stuff like that, I do like this style for very specific ones. Kind of fits the tone for me. This one's it's got like a supernatural but still fantasy thing going for it. Like, it has ghosts, but then on the other side of it, it also has like nymphs and stuff. So probably if I went through some old pictures that I had posted on Instagram, you would realize how old this story is. I've drawn tons of stuff for it, just personally, that I haven't shared. Because I get really, really excited when I'm in the middle of doing something. I can actually almost pull that feeling up at any time just by rereading or beginning to draw something or thinking, what does this look like? Or what would that be? Or Should I draw the room that this person is in? Not a fly. Anyway. So yeah, that kind of stuff usually gets me really excited for my stories all over again. But also, this story has a lot to do with nature, and because I've been outside a lot for, work and stuff recently, it definitely kind of brought it back for me. But, yeah. I'm sorry if you can hear the fly. I can't. It's driving me crazy, too. Didn't even know he was in here. But, yeah. So, the antler things are huge in the story. Obviously, I like to include something that involves some symbolism from that. So, in everything that I draw. So yeah, the antlers are a thing. Antlers seem to be a thing in a lot of stuff. And like deer and elk and moose and stuff like that seem to use antlers a ton. So, that's a weird thing to recognize, I guess. By the way, his name is Rust. He's a very confused dude. He's got decently mellowed out emotions for reasons to do with his past and things that are also to come in his future. So, yeah. I actually am very attached to this story. I was writing it in conjunction with, I think, 3 others at the time, and all of them give me such like very specific emotions and things from that time. They all have their own thing, obviously, but yeah, very specific to then. And a lot of the stuff that I was reading, because I went through a phase where if I wasn't reading or writing, or I mean drawing and writing, I was just reading all the time. I was finishing tons of books. Which is probably why I felt so inspired, because reading is like huge for me. I really enjoy reading. Well, very specific things. I've always been one of those people that can't make myself read things that I just don't jive with. So, yeah, very specific things that I enjoy. And whenever I get into them, it's really hard to stop reading. This fly's driving me nuts. So yeah, the original video for this week was going to be a marker video. I don't know what is going on with me in that, but I had been doing a bunch of watercolor studies of little buildings and things. Oh, check out our little bag. This goes on a shoulder bag. Whenever you make it, you take it off the Velcro edge, and yeah, then you can put the picture on. So these little like shoulder bags, and yeah, they're pretty nice, actually. I like the way that they're made. You can find them in our store. In the description below, there's our store. Actually, I don't think we posted those ones yet, but soon. Keep an eye out. So, I don't remember what I was saying. Yeah, anyway. Oh, yeah, I remember. So, I was going to do one of those because I'd been doing the watercolor ones. And I was like, I should try it in markers because I think that would be really rad. And it went out. It just went horribly. And I should have known, because that whole day, the whole day before that, I knew my family was going to be gone and I was going to have like some nice quiet time for recording. I just kept thinking, you should just do a sketchbook video, dude. I don't think anything else is going to work out. Because whenever I draw in my Illo for videos, I just draw too big. And I already can't see it, how I have it set up so that my camera fits and I fit, and I'm not like, head bumping it. So, head butting it, sorry. And yeah, I didn't take my own advice, and I tried to do it, and everything that went wrong was obviously my own fault. So the building that I tried to do was really cool, and I was very excited to draw it because I have a story where there's like a boat that is incorporated in the design of the house. Not a ship, just literally a little tiny boat. So I was so stoked to draw this, and it went horribly. I, you know, kind of messed up the perspective, and by kind of I mean a lot. And it was really disheartening because, you know, the whole reason I do them is mostly to practice the perspective, getting myself into drawing the different elements, and, you know, like, kind of committing them to memory. Yeah, check out our space bag. And then the shells on the actual bag. I should have opened them and shown them. Anyway, it was terrible. It was just awful. It made me so sad. And I usually try to commit those things to memory and make everything nice and practice the perspective. And it just hurt my feelings. So, even though I tried to make it work, it did not work. That's okay. And I had to make some peace with it. But I was actually upset that entire day. Like, you know, when you get so totally consumed by a negative emotion that you're like, I need a punching bag or to run really fast somewhere. Yeah, I was feeling that like childhood sadness right there, so I had to step away. And that was okay. I got over it. I'm mostly over it, but I didn't want the video. No matter how many times I thought about it, I'm like, it's not gonna happen. I'm not posting that. Like, it'll just make me upset to rewatch it. So I didn't for myself, and yeah, maybe I'll keep the footage and I'll look back on it at some point. Maybe, I don't know. I just want to erase it from the world, but yeah. I'm just, yeah, that's what set me back for a really long time. I was just so busy after that. That was the only, like, bubble of free time that I was really going to have. And I've been so tired. So I was kind of barely hanging on as it was. And then I had a bunch of work. Like, a bunch of work. So, never ended. Then finally, you know, Sunday rolls around after the market, and I made it a point to go and film this. That was going to be the time I had. Then I was going to go ahead and do the voiceover yesterday and finish out my editing so I could have it scheduled, and that didn't roll very well either. So we're gonna kick it out on the day. Right here, I'm just tracing out his body shape the way that I would if I was just sketching it in, so that I can make sure I haven't made mistakes by like cutting into it with the cloth. I do this even whenever I'm drawing digitally, just to make sure that I haven't messed with my proportions. Because I have done that before, where I just like carved into something and ruined it. I'm like, why did you do that? Yeah, I had stopped recording, and I was kind of talking to my sister, and yeah, missed me coloring in the antlers. I don't really think it was all that important. I was literally just coloring them in with a red pencil. So groundbreaking. So, yeah. But then I was like, oh, I need to turn that on and finish out. Because I was just adding little extra details to try to make it look better. Because I made the decision then, like, yeah, I'm definitely not inking it. I don't have the time. And it was a fairly short little session anyways. So it wasn't even that hard to edit it and cut it down and whatever. I just had to work around little conversations. I didn't even try to cut out anything going on in the background because my sister was working on her business stuff. Obviously, that's why she keeps coming showing stuff. It's stuff that she had just made while we were there. You know, me not helping. So, yeah. I still found it really nice to draw my character. I pretty much always do. It makes me even more excited when I write on the story, and it makes me want to just sit down and get lost in it. We don't have time. Yep. Gotta add his freckles. Don't always see the difference between dark blue and brown. I don't have issues with my color vision. I think it's lighting. So, yeah. But I didn't really think it was gonna make a difference anyway. Even if someone could see it, it's just ties the pages together. So. I kind of like how I drew his tummy. He's a bit of a thin person. And generally when I draw him, I exaggerate his shoulders a bit more. He's got very wide shoulders, and otherwise he's quite thin. He's a bit muscular just because of his jobs. Little dirt babies. Yeah, those are just saplings, by the way. They're like the spirits of little sapling trees and stuff. That's also very important. His face. Yeah, whenever I was trying to show it, I'm like, I better do a more zoomed in version because you couldn't even see all of the little details. Not that there's loads, but there was a couple. And then I was like, oh yeah, I better show the other side up close too. That one's a little bit more accurate to his face. He's got a long face. I wanted him to look like a little hick, you know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day or night, and bye.